Alright people, welcome to Tech Elementary. So today we're gonna be making reverse shell. So as we know there are two parts of reverse shell, one is client and one is server. So the client connects to the server and server is able to run all the commands on the client's computer. So there are two folders here, client and server. So we're gonna be making client script and server script, two scripts. So let's make a client script. Let's call it client shell.py. Now we'll have to import some modules. So first is socket. The socket module is used for connecting to another computers. So for communication purpose, we will be using socket, and this sub process is useful for running the command on the computer. And this pickle is used for encoding and decoding the messages which we are going to be sent on the socket or onto the other computer. So let's create this run function first. So what this run function gonna do? This will run the command on our computer. So it will take command as argument. So for debugging purpose, we're gonna print this command, and then we're gonna use this variable proc. So this sub process is actually module which allows you to spawn new processes. So you can create new process and run on the particular system. So subprocess.p open command. So it will run the command and std out equal to subprocess.pipe. So this whatever comes at std out file, it will pipe into the sub process, and this will come as a output and it will be stored in the proc variable. So let's enable shell. Okay, so now whenever I want to run this command, so I have just prepared this proc variable to run this command. So if I want to run this, I will just simply say proc dot communicate. Yeah, so this will run the command, and this command will either run successfully and give you the output, or it may give the error. So this tuple will store output and error, and now we're gonna print this output and also return this output. So now let's create a function. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use this main function. So this main function, what it does, so first let's check how these commands are running. So we will simply run this command print run, and we'll give the command. So let's run some dir command, check it is running successfully. Oh, sorry, wrong file. Okay, yeah, so this, as we can see, so this is what this is going to be printed on the function itself, and this is where it is going to be printed when it returns the output. So no problem in that. So now on the server side, what we're gonna do, we wanna send some commands, right? And we're gonna receive on client side and run the commands. So for receiving purpose, so I'll need some socket connections so that I can receive the command. So I'll be using this socket module here, which will allow us to connect to the other machines. So I'll simply write c.connect. So in our case, right now, the server and the client both are on the same machine. That's why I will be using what loopback address. So you can write your server address here, whatever www.yourserver.com, whatever your address is, and we will write port number here. So right now I'm choosing port 44445. So mostly there are HTTP servers, so 8080 will be your port, but I'll be using this port number. While true, I'm using this while true because the server may be sending more and more commands, so I want to receive all the commands and run them and send the output to the server. So I'll keep on receiving these commands. So C is the connection which we have connected. Now if we do c.receive, then we will be able to receive the commands. So here receive takes a buffer size as argument. So I'm using 1K of buffer, 1 KB. So I'll have to just so then whenever the message comes from the network, we'll have to decode it. So for decoding purpose, we will use pickle.loads here. So means for sending you will have to encode it, and for receiving you'll have to decode it. Simple. So out equal to run. This is very simple, which we have already done. We will simply run this command, right? And after running this command, we will send the output to the server. Very simple, very sweet. Now we'll come to the server part. So here we're gonna be making server cell.py. So it will be same as client.py, but there will be some differences. So we'll have to first import some modules like socket. We need what? Sys for exiting gracefully, and we will need pickle. And anything else we need? No. Okay. So just run this main function, and main function what it gonna do? It will first create a socket so that our clients can connect to it, and then it will bind the socket to a particular port. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bind it s.bind. So this bind function takes argument which is IP and the port number. So in our case IP is nothing but localhost, so I'm gonna use 0.0.0.0, and port number, as we know, we have chosen 44445, so we will be using this port number, right? Now we will be listening on this port. Okay, now we will have to accept some address from the client. So as soon as we accept the address, this C comma address will have some values. So C is the connection and address is the address of that connection. So address contains socket means IP plus port number. So we want to keep on sending messages to the client, so that's why I'm using while loop, while true. So if command equal to, so row input will be used as a command, so whatever we type on the terminal of the server, it will be sent as a command to the client. So now we want, if we want to, let's say, exit from our server, so we will simply give exit as a command to the server, and this way it will simply close the connections. So first we'll have to close the connection, then we'll have to close the socket, and then we'll have to exit. Tick. So now closing connection here will also close the connection there. So I have not written code for closing the connection gracefully on the client side. That is not needed now, right now. So we'll simply send this command. So this CMD now contains the command. So you'll have to send it. So as I told you, before sending the command, you'll have to encode it. So for encoding purpose, I'm using c.dumps method, and then so whatever we have sent, so we'll have to receive the output. So c.recv, this function is used for receiving the output. So right now output may be of much bigger size than the command, so that's why I'm using a longer buffer. 8196 means 8K, and then I'll simply print the output followed by /n. Next line. Okay, so now let's see how this works. So we'll have to first run the server, because you know server is always keep on running and client will come to connect to it. Okay, there's some error. I think we missed something on line 13. What is it? So for connection purpose, it takes the tuple of IP and the port number. It doesn't take two arguments, it takes only one argument, and that is a tuple. Okay, now let's connect. Okay, it is connected now. Now from server, if we run any command, it will give us output from this client. So as we know, we can see the output is from the directory client here. It is not from the server directly, and we are running this command from server. So this is a simple shell, reverse shell, and you can also add some four more commands over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to make a big reverse shell which will be more secure. So the code will be available on GitHub. You can get it from there. Okay, that's it for now.